morning, Shekhar.
Good morning, John. Great to be chatting with you on this subject.
Fantastic to have you here with us. As you know, we are building a thought leadership series for the learning industry, and the objective of this discussion is to help learning leaders from all over the globe understand how to make learning more effective and how to drive impact for their respective organizations. Right. So, Shekhar, we have been associated with you for a very long time now. And you have been associated with the Amara Raja Group, I think, since 2006. So it's been
That's right.
a long journey for you over a couple of decades. So I'd like to take this opportunity to understand, from an evolution perspective, could you just maybe spend a couple of weeks, a couple of minutes talking about when you joined Amar Raja, and what has been the evolution of the Amar Raja Group in the last couple of decades, and also what has been the evolution of the learning function under you over the last couple of decades?
Oh, good, wonderful, wonderful to be looking back at the 2 decade journey, and it's been great. I must say that it's been great. The organization, the people, the leaders, the founders, everybody have been great in building this organization. To give you in some numbers, when I joined, some of us, the core team, when we joined, it was the company in 2006. We were about 500 crores, 458 crores,
Mhm,
458 to be precise.
mhm,
And this year we'll be clocking 20,000 crores. So that's the movement that we have seen in the last 2 decades. And the employee force from about 1,500, now it is 21,000. And the number of businesses, we had some 5 6 businesses to now 16 different businesses. And the organization have gone through restructuring, sometimes an amalgamation, sometimes unlocking of businesses. So both have happened. And
mhm,
we've seen at least 2 or 3 organization restructuring process. So we have been in the thick of things of making that happen over the years. And we are seeing a big infusion of technology in all areas,
mhm,
be it the operations areas, be it sales and marketing, be it the supply chain, be it HR or finance. Everywhere there have been a big infusion of technology, and by which the entire process also has been changing, right? And in the business operations, the core of the business operations, what we are seeing is, as the company grew organically, as we set up new plans to meet our expansion requirements, we have seen no two plans are the same.
mhm.
The plan that comes up newly is completely, at least 80% different and more advanced than the plants that is already existing. So it is kept evolving. So these are the changes that we are seeing. Of course, in terms of talent, we have 3 generations of people working in within the organization.
Right.
There are cases where we have the parents and children working in the same company. So we are having such cases as well. We are happy that they are finding the organization engaging enough to stay for long. So therefore, we are also lucky to have a majority of people who are loyal to the organization. Loyal not only in terms of loyalty, they're happy being with the organization. I think that's going to be the bottom line. I may want to be loyal, but if I'm not having a happy environment, I may
Mm.
not want to stay for long. So therefore, these are things that we have seen in this group over the years. And in terms of customers, yes, we've seen local customers, pan India customers, global customers, all of them coming into the fold. So these are some of the changes that in the L&D space, what we have seen is uh, that there was a time when some training programs will come. There will be some issue in the operations, or somewhere saying that okay, the sales is going down in this particular area, or there has been sudden increase in the first pass yield, or there have been increase in the quality issues. So we need to do something. So then when we get into it, okay, fine, some of these people are not trained properly, they don't know how to operate the machine, so therefore we'll train. So that is where it was when we started. From
Okay.
there, the training has evolved in multi-dimensional ways, right from induction training, cultural training, technical training, systems training. All that is has evolved over a period of time. That is how things have changed, uh, John.
So, Shekhar, I think fantastic to hear about your journey, over the last 20 years and the journey of Amar Raja and how learning has evolved. What I want to understand now is what are your objectives for the Amar Raja Group from a learning perspective? What are you trying to achieve over the next few years for the organization?
Good, good. I mean that's a key thing, because in two as let me call the culture part and the business based competency part as the two sides of the coin. And we invest heavily in cultural training as well. The Amar Raja way, as we call it, we have derived from our values. We have a clear set of attitudes and a clear set of behaviors that people are expected to demonstrate. So what we have done is we have integrated that with the performance management system. So which means, if people are trained in this, if people are aware of what needs to be done in the Amar Raja way part of it, and if they demonstrate it, they will be able to be successful. So that is how we are approaching this whole thing. All our training programs are linked with that, the Amar Raja way. We have derived competencies out of these leader behaviors, and we have made that as mandatory training for all different grades of people. So people go through that training. And we've also developed a unique credit system that we have, where for any developmental activities or developmental programs that somebody go through in the organization, they get certain credits, it gets accumulated, and the end of the year there is a reward for that. So that is how we have linked the whole thing. In terms of how we want to do, or what my objectives are for future, definitely things are very dynamic, right? The technology is evolving. As you know, we are in the battery industry, and there is a big churn that is happening in the industry itself. Not that we are going to change into EV segment or other segments overnight. However, the transition is happening, which means we are the business has also changed. We have from the complete focus on lead acid batteries, we are now focusing on EV batteries as well. So which
Right.
means we need talent to build or make EV batteries. So there we have two options. One, we recruit everybody newly into the organization, or we do reskilling and upskilling. So both options are open for us, and we would like to reskill and upskill our people, existing people, so that they get qualified, or they become skillful in the new technology, which will help them in their careers and which will also help the organization. So that is how we are looking at it, in terms of future. So what we want to do is every year when we we are going to be revisiting the competence mapping and skill mapping at different levels, and see which are those competencies that are relevant today, and if there are something which there is an overlap, or if in some way technology has taken over that part of skill. For example, some way automation has taken over some of the skills, right? So if they have taken over, now those things we remove from that competency list, add the list, add some competencies that are relevant for today, and add one or two which may be required for future. Right. So that is how we are revamping the competence mapping and skill matrix. Every year we do that, so that we are little better prepared to what's coming. I mean, the world is very dynamic. I'm not sure if anybody can be 100% prepared for what is going to come. However, whatever is in our control, we are making it more clear, and we are being prepared to take it. That's how we are looking at this whole. That's the approach that we are taking. In this is one on the competence and skills. The other future preparedness that we are focusing on is leadership development at different levels. So there are different programs, say like junior management, supervisory development, junior management, mid management, and senior management programs are there. So there we are focusing on primarily making them better managers and better leaders, as so this helps them in growing, and it also helps the organization in building capability for future. These are two different things that we are doing.
Yeah, so I think L&D always has a dual role. You're
Yes,
handling the business of today and the business of tomorrow.
absolutely, you're right.
One side, looking at productivity, looking at the culture impact of today's business, and on the other side, looking at future readiness. I think that's what you've been talking about.
Absolutely, and we otherwise it's going to be a problem, right? Because one fine day we will find we have a lot of people with have very high skill levels, but that may not be relevant
True.
for the business. So then the business will have to pay a big cost if that is going to be the case.
Have you seen such instances in the past where, us during the growth of this group, where suddenly there was a realization that maybe more investment should have been done for the business of tomorrow? Have you had such experiences in your career in the past?
I would say so far we've been fine with that,
Mm.
because business has grown, we have grown, people have grown, so we've been continuously investing.
Okay.
So was not a major thing. But today, as we pivot in our strategy, we are seeing that need.
Mm.
That there is suddenly there is a need for completely new set of training,
Mm.
uh, completely new sets of competencies that are required, right? That based on the organization's journey, right? So we've grown organically over the years. Now, right now, we are pivoting slightly different in a different direction.
Right.
While organic growth is definitely going to be there, we will be sustaining that. We are also open for M&As. We are open for getting into new geographies, new countries,
Right.
completely new markets, completely new businesses. So therefore, all these require new sets of competencies coming in. So therefore, we right now we have to be on a little overdrive, I should say, in building those competencies for people inside. While we cannot be only building, we are also getting new talent coming in. So there's a big change that's happening right now in this I mean, as I talk, that's the situation that we are in.
Okay. So how do you look at impact from all the learning approaches that you're taking? You talked about the growth of the business, but what are the other measures of impact that you look at? When you're evaluating learning solutions, and then when you're reviewing after a year or two, what has happened as an outcome? What are the measures you look at?
Yeah, we see learning as a journey, right? And it is not going to be I go through a training program tomorrow, my efficiency is going to improve 3 times. It never happens like that. So we are happy with the journey that we have seen, and what we are seeing is we have seen gradual increase in the efficiencies. We
Mhm.
are seeing gradual increase in the longevity of people,
Mhm.
because we are able to meet people's aspirations
Right.
by providing this training. Right, because they want to see them. I mean, anybody who is working in an organization, why will they work in an organization for a long time? They need a good job. They need an opportunity. They need opportunities to explore or exhibit their potential, and they need to build themselves. They build their capability so that they stay relevant. They stay contemporary in the market. So these are the aspirational part of an individual in an organization. So if we are able to meet some of it, 75-80% of it, obviously we can't meet all 100% of the aspirations of people. It keeps changing as well. By investing in training, by investing in providing opportunities for their growth, if we are able to meet 75% of their aspirations, 75-80, this makes people happy and gives us makes people stay longer in the organization. So as they stay long, as they are also skilled accordingly, efficiencies will happen, business growth will happen. So we are seeing that as a big outcome, so that we can bank on them. We know. So when if we are getting into a completely unrelated business tomorrow, we know we have a big pool of people from where we can select, reskill them, and get that new business started. So we will have a set of known people. We will have a set of people who are completely aligned with our culture, because when we get into a new business, that's where that is a very that's a critical part of it. We may get the required skill from the market, but if they're not aligned to our culture of working, our way of working, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So, so building somebody or training somebody on the culture takes more time than building the required skills. So when we have people who are already culturally aligned, and we will be able to train them faster to take on the new things that are coming up. So that is what we are doing.
Right. So I think overall, sometimes you, as an organization, you see both situations happening. One, where the organization realizes that maybe this level of talent or this set of talent is not grown, and sometimes it becomes unviable for the talent.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sometimes when talent themselves look at their own growth, they feel that hey, I have not grown in the last 4 5 years, right?
Hmm.
Both situations, we end up at an unfortunate exit, right?
Correct.
And I think L&D is very crucial to ensuring that neither of these situations end up happening.
Yes, yes, yes. That's right. Here I think first step is to keep track of the number of people who are stagnating.
Mhm.
Okay, we need to keep track of them. Every year we need to say, hey, okay, now these are some 300, 400 people who have been in this with us. They've been consistent performers, but they have not had enough growth.
Mhm.
And we need to specifically have interventions to
Mhm.
help them grow. This is not an easy process. It is time consuming, and it is a deliberate process. And organizations have to invest time, and we do invest time.
Mhm.
There are two small programs that we have, two three programs, and a policy as well. What we have seen is, we have seen at the shop floor level, there are
Mhm.
people who enter into the organization who are with non-technical qualification.
Mhm.
They learn the job, they become experts in that,
Mhm.
and they go into supervisory roles. They almost play a supervisory role, but we have seen them getting stagnated
Mhm.
because they do not have the technical knowledge to grow further.
Mhm.
So for those people, we've created a program called
Mhm.
Amara Raja Diploma program, which is
Mhm.
an internal diploma program.
Mhm.
We do have a Amara Raja Skill Development Center as run as part of our foundation. That's a complete. It's like a complete engineering college setup, right? With labs and all that, hostel facilities and everything. So these people who are performing very well, and they have learned their job very well, but who do not have technical qualification, we put them through the Amara Raja diploma, and after they complete their AR diploma, Amara Raja diploma, they become equivalent to any of the diplomas who are coming from outside, which helps them in their which actually opens up the environment, the growth path for them, and they compete with them, and they, based on their performance, they keep growing. So like this, we need to design some specific interventions for these people, otherwise it's going to be difficult. We cannot have one size fit all or one blanket program for everybody. And we do have programs or policies where we promote people from, say, supervisory grade to management grade. So there are tests which they have, their qualification qualifying tests that they have to take and move them. While we do this on one side, we also have fast track programs where people can be part of the fast track programs. So growth opportunity, giving them growth opportunity, creating that platform is important. End of the day, it is up to them, because it's going to be a rigorous process. They need to go through qualifying exams. They need to exhibit, or they need to demonstrate higher level of capabilities. If they do demonstrate, then we have no problems in pushing them up or growing them or providing them the career growth within the same company or within other companies in the group. So
Right.
that is what we are doing to make sure that there is enough opportunity for people to move across.
Yeah, I think what also happens many times in the employee life cycle is that people sometimes feel that my experience has gone up, or
Mm.
my job title is at a particular level, right? And
Mm.
that, but truly what matters is the actual capability, competence, skill that they have,
Correct,
right? That is what is the real driver of their growth, right?
correct, correct,
Not
correct,
the number of years that they've actually spent in a particular area.
correct, correct, correct. The way we approach that is, see, we provide the opportunities, and it's they anyway they have to compete. Though it's a healthy competition, they have to compete and then do it, because we do provide, say, programs like first time managers. We've tied up with an institution, and we train all of them in that. However, their growth is depending on their performance. uh, I mean, not that we promote anybody automatically because they have gone through that program. So
Mhm.
our investment is in building the capability. It's the individual's responsibility and accountability to demonstrate what they have learned and grow.
Right. Coming to some of the work that enParadigm has been fortunate enough to do with Amar Raja, right? I
Yes,
think last year you launched a very major digital initiative, right, covering several thousands of employees across the group. And
correct,
that was in line with the current stature of the group and the need to scale up learning to a completely different level where you're trying to
correct,
cover all
correct.
levels of the organization, right? So, what were you trying to achieve from this kind of an objective?
Yeah, couple of things. See, as I was mentioning, we have identified certain competencies that are required to be at a high level for at different grades. Say 4 5 competencies that are core. There will be other competencies, but these 4 5 non-negotiable. And we are what the approach that we have taken is, irrespective of their current level, we want them to get trained on those competencies using contemporary content and technology, and you train them,
Mhm.
then they perform and they grow. So this approach is what we have taken, and that's why grade-wise different programs or different learning paths we have defined along with enParadigm. Luckily for us, enParadigm was able to provide those learning paths in line with our competence requirements. So that is what is being rolled out to all people. So we are equipping them, all of them, right? There is no discrimination there. All of them we are equipping. So now that we have equipped you, so now please perform and then move up. So now what we have seen is, overall the efficiency level, the effective levels have gone up. it is helping people, helping leaders and managers to say that, okay, they most of them have a common language to talk with, right? And when they talk about, say, for example, their customer effectiveness, or they talk about, say, something on planning, something on critical path method and things like that, there is a common language,
Yeah.
and people are able to quickly grasp and move forward. So that is what we are seeing at this point of time, and it's, as I said, it's a journey. So we will be seeing the in outcomes in terms of business growth and things like that. In maybe 1 2 years, we should start seeing the effect.
So one of the common observations that we have, especially when we work with large business groups which are little more traditional, right, or homegrown, or business groups which are little more into the manufacturing side, where manufacturing plays a heavy role. I think a lot of times learning leaders and business leaders have a thought process that our people are not ready for a digital solution or an AI-led solution. They probably need a lot more classroom intervention, more facilitators or a human touch. But you have tried to do things very differently over here, right? So, what would be your take on all this? What would be your advice to them?
Yes, I think the world has moved, and as organizations, we cannot get stuck with the old practices.
Mhm.
The people who are in the shop floor are the same people who are, I mean, are incidentally, our average is much lower. It's around 30 there. So therefore, the new generation people come into the entry level in the shop floor, which means they are digital natives by themselves, irrespective of where they come from, small town or village or anywhere. Most of them know how to use smartphones. They use Ola, Uber kind of apps by themselves. Nobody coached them. There are plenty of apps which they use by themselves. Nobody teaches them, right?
Right.
So they are naturally attuned to digital working. So
Mhm.
therefore, I don't know if it is right for us to say that those people are not comfortable with the digital things. Rather, we must use that native potential that's already available there. So if
Right.
we provide them digital things, they will adopt very easily. I'll give you an example. See, when we did our employee experiences survey some 6 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when we wanted to move completely online, we used to do online as well as offline surveys. We wanted
Okay.
to move to all completely online 8 9 years ago, I guess, around 2014 15 we moved.
Okay.
Uh, we were little skeptical as to how, okay, we had developed an app which they will have to use to complete the survey, and we were little skeptical. So we had planned for training sessions, we had planned for orientation sessions for them to do the survey
Okay.
to and we had also planned a little more time for time completion, so that if these things may take some time. But we were completely surprised, saying that, I mean, they adopted to that app and the survey just like that, fish to water. That's the way they adopted. Then most of them did not need any training. We only have to tell them, okay, this is the app, download it. It is in English and local language. Do the survey, and they did it all by themselves.
Mm.
So our planning in terms of training them, coaching them, all that, though we have the plans ready, none of them, at least 80% of them, they was not required. So they adopted it just like that, right? And I'm talking about people who are in the shop floor, right?
Mm.
And they are, say, ITI qualified, or sometimes 12th standard qualified with our training, things like that. I'm talking about that team. I'm not talking about engineers or others, right? So I think the world has changed, people have changed, right? And their aspirations have also changed. We have to see them as equivalent, if not better, digitally capable than you and I, for example, right?
Mm.
You are in tech field, so I mean you'll be at a higher level. But somebody like us, who we are not techies by nature, by profession, uh, so we shouldn't see them as somebody who are not comfortable with that. So what happens is, when we change this perspective, then there are things that opened up for us. We were a lot more open to provide them the e-learning content, right?
Mm.
And we also provided them smartphone apps which they use for their attendance, for their leave application, and all that stuff. So it is like all our shop floor, including shop floor, everybody is on phone based apps. It becomes very easy. So that change of perspective from our end was needed for us to adopt and then roll it out in a different manner. That
Right.
that is going. That is the key, I think.
I think this is very similar to the experience that we've also had with Amara Raja Group. For people across the group, we've definitely seen that the consumption has happening at a much faster pace than maybe all of us designed and planned for. Both
Right, correct, correct,
the team as well as the Amara Raja team, we had a plan in place, some milestones.
correct, correct.
We found that people are actually able to do things a lot faster than we thought.
Absolutely, absolutely. You
Um,
said it well. And when it comes to enParadigm, I think the way that the program has been designed, the simulation based program, is something which they are liking it, and I think that's the way to go. Even in theoretically speaking, the 70-20-10 principle, when we do, if we take that, the simulation is like, it is not a substitute to that 70, but it is at least say 30-40% of that 70. So that helps them to retain what they are learning, right?
Right.
And rather than a classroom training, or rather than a pure e-learning program, which is more of knowledge dissemination.
True.
So that's helping.
So, from your end, Shekhar, where do you see AI now going to play a role in talent development, especially in the light of what you said, right? The 70-20-10 split. Where do you think AI can help you in the learning process?
Big time it is going to help, because we are moving from structured learning to on-demand encapsulated learning. Say, when I want to know something, I need to know, right? We have moved into that, right? I mean, people say that people are not using the search engines to look at to learn about various things. They have moved to these AI based Gen AI based apps, right? They are moving into that. So similarly, learning also is like that. So if I'm getting into a customer situation, and if I'm stuck, right?
Mhm.
There is a, I mean, people are slowly moving to saying that, okay, I want to put my situation there and say, hey, give me some tips. I'm in this kind of a situation. I'm stuck. Give me some way to manage this, and I
True.
need to, and it gives me some tips which may or may not be directly usable, but it gives me ideas. It opens my thinking.
Mm.
So and people have moved to that, right? And same thing has to happen within the organization as well, on demand. Somebody in the shop floor, if there is a trouble situation, a machine situation, they have to simply type down saying, hey, this is the machine, I'm seeing a problem, I'm seeing a noise issue, or I'm seeing a slowdown issue, or there is a leak here. What do I do? It has to immediately ask me certain questions and give me the answer, right?
Right.
So that's where we are moving to, right? And so therefore what happens is, the entire knowledge about that machine troubleshooting and all that, it actually is not going to sit inside somebody's head. It is
Yeah.
actually in a system, AI system, Gen AI system, and it's going to dole out what is necessary pointedly to that person at the time of need. So
Right.
we are moving to that. And when it comes to while on the technical side, process side, system sides, we are moving to that. When it comes to human capabilities, the interpersonal capabilities, the stress management capabilities, the other aspiration management capabilities, uh, we know the work-life balance related things. There, we definitely need a highly human touch-based capability building programs. I think that's how I see the whole thing moving towards. Uh,
Fantastic. So I think AI is definitely becoming a great aid and an augmentation.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I would say from whatever you're saying, AI is helping people become smarter on the job,
Yeah,
in the flow of work.
absolutely, absolutely. So they no more are see this helps them to reduce their stress as well, right? They need not worry about hey, what happens if how do I handle this
Yes.
situation? How do I handle that situation? That worry we can remove from people's mind. Saying that okay, if you have that situation, type down, you will get some tips. Use your intelligence, improvise on that, deal with it. So
Yeah.
we are moving into co-working. See the chatbots and the Gen AI agents becoming your assistant, personal assistants,
Yeah.
and it is becoming a personal assistant to everybody in the organization, right? Executive assistant, personal assistants are usually traditionally for higher level people, leaders, but now, even somebody in the shop floor, they have a Gen AI agent which will help them to do things, right? So this changes the entire paradigm of work itself.
Uh, so in fact, in the pre-AI era, if you actually look at real world professionals, right, when they are stuck, more than going to a traditional learning system, they would look left and right and ask the question,
Absolutely.
where is coworker, right?
Correct, correct,
How
correct.
is it working in a similar manner, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
That's what, and then we need to get we organizations and leaders we have to be comfortable with that. We need to be alive to the we need to be alive to this environment, and then design interventions that will leverage the environment that is available.
Wonderful. So as you move forward in the journey at Amar Raja, what do you look for? What are you looking for today from partners like enParadigm, from a value addition to the business and learning goals of the organization? What outcomes do you expect, and what kind of input do you kind of see value in?
The development of more agents is what I would say, and I am not sure if a generic agent or generic app will help organizations much. Some kind of customization. Say, for example, within Amara Raja Group. So, how do I deal with this situation? And there is a context to it, right? A customer situation, X company will deal with in a particular manner. Amara Raja will do it in a different manner. So, so how can we train? How can companies like enParadigm train our people to deal with a customer problem, which may be a common problem, in the Amar Raja way,
Amar Raja
and
way.
not in X company, Y company, Z company way, or in some generic theoretical manner, right? So that there, I think we want the training to evolve into that, right? Which means the agents that, I mean, it's going to be agentic anyway. The agents that you are building will have to learn a lot about our culture and what works here, what are our value system, what is it we can do, what is it we cannot do, what we prefer to do, what we don't prefer to do. All those things the agent has to understand and provide tips
Yeah.
to people inside when they are asking a question. So that's the kind of that is how I think the training is going to be evolving, and that's what I'm looking forward to having in future.
Right. So you're expecting very high contextual intelligence as well.
Yes, that's right.
and frameworks as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because end of the day, the cultural aspect is what we cannot replicate.
True.
Everything else can be replicated. So a response is always moderated or always influenced by the culture of the organization. So and then that culture, if it is worked for an organization for years, there is no need to tamper with that. Yeah. So therefore, these agents, if they can learn the culture and respond, that will be helpful.
Great. I think very excited to kind of hear about your vision for the future of learning at Amar Raja. Right. And I think it's been a great conversation with you today, Shekhar. Thank you so much for
Thank
your.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much, John, for having me in an interview like this. Uh, Fantastic. I mean, that and your questions definitely kindled a lot of thoughts in me as well. And lovely to have had this conversation with you.
I
Thank
hope
you
we
so much.
can make you reflect for the last 20 years and also look at the next 20 years ahead.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.